because now we're going to go to the biggest news story of the day, which of course is Te Pāti Māori and what's been happening there today. I was shocked this morning when I saw the news that there had been an expulsion from the party. Probably the best thing to do is just fire off the 3 News story and have a look, as most of us sit on the outside here and don't know too much about what's going on when it comes to the finer details.
No mai, haere mai, mā loi lele. Welcome to 3 News. After weeks of infighting, Te Pāti Māori has expelled its 2 so-called rogue MPs, Mariameno, Kapa-Kingi and Tākuta Ferris. It follows a meeting yesterday of the party's national executive, which voted to eject the pair for allegedly breaching Te Pāti Māori's constitution. Speaking to reporters today, co-leaders Rawiri Waititi and Debbie Ngarewa-Packer said despite attempts at mediation, including from the iwi Chairs Forum, irreconcilable differences remained. But the 2 MPs who won their Māori electorate seats say their expulsions are unconstitutional, and Kapa-Kingi says she will appeal.
It is interesting that they've made this decision before the meeting. Be interested to know. I mean, they're going to explain why, but actually, you know, it seems most within the world, the iwi chair, all those chairs, all those people were saying, let's have a meeting and then let's make a decision. And over the weekend, they've made the decision. Also interesting that, what was the word that was used by Debbie today? That the issue was resolved without opposition. So one of the factions, I think from Northland, I think Te Tai Tokerau didn't vote, and the other one abstained from the vote. So there was actually no vote against it, which was interesting as well. I watched the stand-up this afternoon. We'll keep going.
Now, though, they'll both stay on as independents in Parliament. Political correspondent Zane Small has the developments.
Te Tai Tonga MP Tākuta Ferris and Te Tai Tokerau MP Mariameno Kapa-Kingi are Te Pāti Māori no more.
Last night, the National Council of Te Pāti Māori, made up of the elected electorate representatives, resolved without opposition to expel Mariameno Kapa-Kingi and Tākuta Ferris from Te Pāti Māori for serious breaches of our kawa, of our constitution.
It's the culmination of infighting that's dragged on for weeks. So here's a quick recap. In September, Te Pāti Māori apologised for a racially charged social media post made by Tākuta Ferris, in which he suggested that non-Māori should not be able to campaign for Māori electorate seats. Later that month, Ferris defied his co-leaders and doubled down. It also emerged that Mariameno Kapa-Kingi had been stripped of her role as party whip. In early October, Mariameno's son, Eru Kapa-Kingi, who leads the Toitu Te Tiriti Hikoi movement, publicly distanced the group from Te Pāti Māori and accused the party of having a dictatorship model. About a week later, Te Pāti Māori sent a late-night email accusing Mariameno Kapa-Kingi of financial overspend and made public allegations that her son, Eru, threatened Parliament staff. The drama stepped up a notch last week when Te Pāti Māori President John Tamahere published an essay of allegations calling Kapa-Kingi and Ferris greedy, entitled Dishonest, Unprincipled and suggesting they should resign. He also alleged the pair tried to take over the party's leadership.
This decision follows 6 weeks of rigorous process, robust debate across electorates and branches, hui with members beyond our party, kōrero with the iwi Chairs Forum and other rangatira. And
it does also raise the question, I believe the iwi Chairs is going to be happening in a week or so, that meeting, maybe this weekend. So if it's been 6 weeks so far, what was the need to rush it 5? I think it's this weekend. If it is this weekend, what was the need to rush it by 1 week rather than leaving it? So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And they've said in this, Rawiri I think says specifically, we're not going to talk about this again. I don't know if that's helpful or not. But yeah, overall, we've still got 2 factions saying 2 different things. And I'll tell you what, this has absolutely caused a split. From the Facebook post that I put up today, there was as many people who were engaging in good faith saying about time as there were saying they've lost my vote. So it's fascinating to see that there's no way to beat around the bush that this has caused a split within, in particular, voters for Te Pāti Māori, amongst others as well. So, yep, we'll keep going.
mediation. Irreconcilable differences remained.
In a statement, Tākuta Ferris described the decision as plainly unconstitutional, contrary to tikanga Māori and a direct affront to the values this movement was founded upon. For her part, Mariameno Kapa-Kingi posted that she intends to challenge the decision.
I wish both Mariameno and Tākuta all the best of luck as we head forward. But we had to bring this to a close.
Tākuta Ferris and Mariameno Kapa-Kingi were both voted in by the people of their respective Māori seats. Therefore, it's likely the pair will remain in Parliament as independent MPs, representing their electorates but no longer representing Te Pāti Māori. That is, unless Te Pāti Māori decide to use the waka jumping law, which allows party leaders to eject MPs from Parliament entirely if 2/3 of their caucus agree.
That's not a consideration that we've made and have had. That would actually be a consideration for the National Council.
The co-leaders are now trying to pitch a party that's worthy of forming a coalition come 2026.
We have begun serious and constructive conversations with the Labour Party and the Green Party. Our people on the streets and in the polls have told us they want a government led by our three parties at the helm.
The Pāti Māori have got a lot of work that they need to do if they want to play a constructive role in Parliament and in any future governing arrangements.
Do you think Te Pāti Māori has done the right thing by expelling 2 MPs?
Oh, look, I don't know. I mean, Te Pāti Māori's a joke, to be honest. They're completely irrelevant in this place.
The Prime Minister's description may be harsh, but it could also be the reality for Te Pāti Māori if the infighting continues.
We'll leave the rest of their story there. Interesting to see in the chat as well. I'm just going to put a few chats that have been going past while we've been talking. The conversation going on, so I'm just picking it up partway through. Tane is talking to someone saying, iwi leaders don't want this, are getting sick of John. He wants to save his leadership at the expense of the party. The reason I'm bringing that up is because then there is a response to it. If I can just scroll, actually I can go to the start, can't I? Paula says, just want to say months of dealing with this isn't rushing it, and the iwi chairs do not decide the leadership. And Paula also responded to Tane saying that's not accurate, and I'm perplexed and am wondering, what do people think iwi leaders are? The party chose John and the party has reasons. This isn't a public decision. Yeah, and I think that's also a big part of it, Paula. Thank you for your input, is that this is behind the scenes conversations going on that we don't know. I mean, I feel pretty confident in saying we will know one side of it, because I think Kapa-Kingi and Ferris will probably share their feels. And it's interesting that I think that Rawari did say today that they won't be talking about it anymore. So this is where we're at. And it's, from looking from the outside in, it still looks to be, because we don't know what the issue is exactly. I don't know. I'm still like, what's going on? Both of these groups have such an important part to play, talking about Toitu, and also, this is not so much about Toitu today, actually, but about Toitu and Te Pāti Māori, but with Toitu have been intrinsically intertwined with Te Pāti Māori via the Kapa-Kingis, you're like, how is this going to work out and where's it going to go? Yeah. There's one other thing I'm going to play about next year's election, which Deb talked about today, but Chewie, you got thoughts around this?
Yeah, look, I think at this point, Rawari going, you know what, this is going to be the last time that we talk about this, is probably the good move. I think there's a lot of big egos in the room, a lot of big egos, and look, I'm not even going to pick a side on this. Like, I like most of what Tākuta Ferris has done, then that thing about campaigning for the Māori seats was a massive misstep. We've had Debbie and Rawari on the show, and they were fucking great. But then I don't particularly like John Tamahere. So what they need to do is they need to get their house in order, and they need to just shut out the noise, shut out the media cycle, shut out everybody, and I include this in us, sense of blood in the water.
Yeah, Pat and Chewie, shut the fuck up. What are you guys talking about for?
We're making this worse. And just get shit squared away, because roll on the next year, next session of Parliament, and it's all on. and I want them focused and taking big hits out of the government. But at the moment, we've also got Luxon calling them a joke, and Hipkins going, well, they're not ready to be part of government.
No, I actually think Hipkins was okay today, because it's a little bit like when you work in radio, right? Let me give you the silly example. When you work in radio, you're not supposed to acknowledge the mistakes you make on air unless you make a really big one. So your bosses will tell you when you're learning radio, you're like, if you do a little tiny mistake, 99.99% of people won't know you've done it, so don't acknowledge it. If you like play the wrong song, they're going to notice that you acknowledge it. This is like you've played the wrong song. Like this has to be acknowledged as not being good. I think Chippy's level of he basically said they need to get their house in order, and I think today that's okay, because how can you say anything else? How can you say, oh, it's all fine, they'll be good? You can't say that, and you can't say we're going to rule them out. So I actually think today, him saying they need to get their house in order, before we even have a conversation about it. The one weird thing is that Rawari talking about they've been having meaningful conversations with Labour, and Chippy went, no, we haven't. We haven't any of that. That was a bit weird. And remember, maybe even this time last year, the Greens were not maybe going through the same thing, but going through a big reshuffle as well. And this is the one clip I'm going to play from their stand-up, because they get asked, are you ready for government? And Debbie's very clear. Debbie is saying the reason they're doing this is to show that they're ready for Parliament. So they've seen this as the step they need to take, for whatever reason we don't know yet, to be that party ready for Parliament. This is a part of getting ready, is how Debbie explains it. Now I'm paraphrasing, she might not use those exact words, but give me some of this, and so you can hear how she responds to about government next year.
Anything for it to be part of the next government? I mean, you've just used 2/3 of your MPs, you're talking about stabilising and Walker.
I think, first of all, those are dramatic words. They're dramatic words, nuke. We have a history as Te Ao Māori where our ancestors don't all arrive on the same waka they left on. This is waka-papa, this is part of who we are. The reality is, do I think that we're ready to be in government? We are, and that's the decisions, that's the pain of the decisions that we have to make now. Through great pain comes great wisdom.
So the painful decisions we're making now is us getting ready for being in government. That's what she's saying.
The reality is, what we're contending with is the fact that we couldn't all agree on where the movement needed to be. This was nothing else more than that, and we weren't able to reconcile it, disappointingly. What we have able to do, though, is show that we will be straighten it up, we will front the challenges, and we will get us ready for 2026, and that's really what we have. There's no other option with this government. And if we had more time, if we didn't have as a destructive government as we had, but that's not the case. So our party have given us a strong mandate of support and to get on and straighten us up for 2026. We're going to see other parties fall out next year. Te Pāti Māori got in first, and it's best to be on this side of Christmas. And we know that it's kept everyone going for a while, and it's raw. It's raw when it's playing out in front of the world to see, but it's a necessary part of our growth.
Do you think that you or the party?
So basically saying, yep, we're not the first, we won't be the last. And the way I heard that, Chewie, was we've had to make these hard decisions today to get us ready for government, or for government, because we need to be all going in the same direction. Now, that's if we accept exactly the narrative that Te Pāti Māori is giving us. And as I think most of us will agree, the truth is normally somewhere in the middle. But that's what they've said. That's what Te Pāti Māori has said, that we need to be going in the same direction. These MPs weren't. We need to go in the same direction to be in government. So we have to make these hard decisions today. That's how I heard it, at least, Chewie.
Yeah, look, I thought that was a really solid answer from Debbie. And look, I must admit, when I saw the Luxon headline of Te Pāti Māori is just a joke, I was like, I don't know, man. Do you really want to put that out in the discussion space when you're not polling particularly well going into an election? And I'm sure your entire front bench has a selection of Ginsu knives that they're frantically sharpening, waiting for the right poll and the right moment to roll you.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, I mean, like, I'm not going to do predictions, but it feels like if Luxon, as it feels right now, if Luxon's there next year, it's a coin toss. If Luxon's not there, the ball will be in Nationals court. That's how it feels. I mean, could be wrong.
Yeah.